Welcome back. Imagine more than 60,000 men and women working across 3,800 acres of concrete and steel, sailing overhead one of 2,000 plus aircraft that, on a daily basis, transports passengers the world over. Crowds shuffle through 6 different concourses while forklifts zoom up and down metal ramps loading tons of precious cargo onto aircraft. What I've described is just another busy day at Hartsfield-Jackson International Airport. And if General Manager Miguel Southwell has his way, it's going to get even busier. He tells us why in today's Executive Profiles.
Welcome, Miguel. Thanks for joining us today.
Delighted to be here, Ed.
So let's go to Antigua and start with your youth and make that transformational move to Portland? How does that happen?
I did grow up in Antigua, the last of 12 children. Migrated to the United States, first to Portland, Oregon, where I have a brother living, and sort of fell into banking. One day, as I was preparing for the start of college, I responded to an ad for a roving teller. Wasn't quite sure what that was, but discovered it was a teller who did not know where they were going to be assigned until the day before. And some 7-9 years later, I was the assistant vice president and regional manager for the branches in the Portland, Oregon area, responsible for 16 branches.
So you get the itch to
Yes.
start your own airline?
After some time in banking, I thought, well, I was young enough to pursue my interest in international business. We had left Antigua with that interest in having an import-export company exporting perishable goods from the United States to the Caribbean. A question was asked of me by an advisor, do we have internationally a service from Atlanta to the Caribbean? Turned out that at that time there were no flights from Atlanta to Latin America and the Caribbean. That led to a subsequent interest. Maybe I should be trying to start an airline. Looked into it, and it was the start of planning for an airline which never got off the ground, Calypso Airlines, by the way. About 2 years after getting to Atlanta, working to start that airline, Delta actually started operating to the Caribbean, which at that time rendered my plan useless. I happened to have met a very smart lady by the name of Angela Gittins, and I was inspired by her and decided to pursue an interest in working at an airport.
And so you were at Hartsfield for
10 years, approximately, and then my mentor, Angela Gittins, went to Miami, and so I followed her there and subsequently became the deputy general manager there.
You come back to this monster, world's busiest airport, international concourse.
Yes.
I would imagine the job you always wanted?
I never pursued being the head of the world's busiest airport. I really do believe that as far as succession goes, that you have a responsibility as the leader of an organization to really take it to the next level. We have had some real pioneers here in Atlanta, people with great vision.
Where is cargo headed?
I think we're at a crossroads, not just with cargo, but in passenger traffic as well. At the end of the day, an airport is really this community's chief tool in driving jobs. And so the charge is to generate jobs using the airport as a tool between the hours of 11 p.m. and 6 a.m. And you do that through cargo. Cargo is what moves at night. And so we're looking to build that cargo business, but really the purpose is to grow jobs. Likewise, passengers. You really do not want to be the general manager of Hartsfield-Jackson where you lose the title as the world's busiest passenger airport. And we're at a crossroads because it's a rather challenging time to maintain that position. Beijing, China is behind us by about 10 million passengers. But 90% of all passengers are from the domestic U.S. travel market. And the domestic U.S. travel market is only growing about 0.5%, 1% per year, whereas that of China is growing 6.5% per year. If you just did the math and you did nothing, then in 2017 they would bypass us. And so I think we're at a critical juncture in terms of being able to sustain that position.
And you have an aggressive plan moving forward. I know that
Quite so.
The additional runway and all the parking and the facelifts. Would you speak for a minute or two, would you, on
Certainly.
next step?
Certainly. We have a master plan that will talk to additional gates, additional taxiways, additional parking. We'll be building additional cargo facilities. We also have a commitment that as we spend billions of dollars for new facilities, that we also need to take care of the old facility. And so we have to modernize that facility to make sure we remain world class.
Atlanta used to get the rap where you couldn't get in and out of this place to save your life. You never hear that anymore. Modern day travelers never talk about, 15 years ago when
Sure.
you'd be up in the sky and you couldn't land
Sure.
and you couldn't take off.
Sure.
The perception has changed. You feel that?
The perception has changed along with the facts. And for the last 11 years, Atlanta's airport has been deemed to be the world's most efficient airport. So not just the busiest, but the most efficient as well. The focus for the last, I would say, 15 years has really been on delighting our passengers. And you'll continue to see initiatives to do that.
I came through the International Concourse. I put my stopwatch on, and I was at my car in 28 minutes. It used to take 2 hours and 8 minutes based on days gone by. So thank you for all you do for all of us.
Thank you for having me here, Ed.
We appreciate you.
Southwell's vision for Hartsfield-Jackson is ambitious, to say the least. He announced a project to develop an airport city that would have all the necessary features: hotels, office buildings, restaurants, everything the business person needs to conduct their affairs without having to travel in town or out to the suburbs.